Okay, so I am live apparently, and it's just started raining reasonably heavily outside. So I don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, look, okay, we're live. Where's the chat? Got to pop out the chat. Okay, this is. I did something slightly different, and has decided to punish me for trying something different. I just realized what's happened. I'm going to try and fix it. This one, what's it doing? Oh my God, I think it's sent the wrong thing. I know what to do. I'm not here. I'm here. I think I worked it out. There, that might work. That's stupid as hell though. Why does YouTube make it so difficult? God, I might have to abandon this. YouTube fucked it up so much. I will try once more. What have I got going on? What's that do? No, none of those things work. What's here? Okay, that's there. That's good. Go back here. I'm just trying to work out why YouTube is being so fucking difficult and making my life such a stressful event. Okay, no, that's just happening. Okay, I'm like, the other one's canned itself. Okay, no, that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think we're good. Yes. Hey, Peter and Big Pat and Lucy. Yes, I think we've got it sorted out, which took a while. That'll teach me to try anything different. Quite honestly, that made everything much more difficult than it needed to be. Because I figured what I've learned is provide a bit of advance notice that I'm going to be live and people get a notification, and that helps people get here, which is good. Hello, Smiley Nerd. And I was catching up with someone after work, so I was late home. So normally I would have started about an hour ago, but I clearly didn't. I just started now. But I thought, okay, when I got off at the train station, I'll use mobile YouTube to say I'm going to go live at 9, which I did, which seemed to send a notification out. But then I couldn't make that stream go live because YouTube make it stupidly difficult. So I started another one under another name, and I wasn't sure if it was working or if the other was there. But we're here now. And I'm fine today, thank you, Pat. I hope you are too. So, yes, after a few struggles, life's not without its struggles, I got there in the end. So, you know, that's okay. You know, I like to complain a bit about YouTube because they make my life more difficult than it needs to be. You know, in other ways, they make my life easy. You know, the service that YouTube offer. You know, I'm old enough to remember when it was impossible, basically. You know, hosting videos to a large audience was insanely complicated and expensive, and YouTube went and made it trivially easy with almost no overhead. But they still do things that annoy the shit out of me. And I really wish they wouldn't do certain things that they do all the time, because it's really frustrating. Okay, I did manage to post that to Twitter, so that's good. I don't need that anymore. I was looking at some bitters. I'm just going to post it on Facebook. Live now. Come and hang out. Can't spell at all. And go pick a nice background. Maybe that one. Maybe that one. What's that one? Yeah, just picking from the pretty colors that Facebook allows these days. I think I'll do the look at me one post. And that's done. And I think I've got that there. Yep, there we go. That's done. I feel done. I feel accomplished, vindicated, in control. How's everyone out there? Hey, Tendai, how's it going? Peter, I did not see The Guardian passing judgment about Australia's best and worst birds. Who was best and who was worst? Hey, Toby, your other package has arrived, but I haven't gone and got it. Look, I've still got two here. I should open one of these ones. I meant to open them with Aidsy, but we got all distracted and talking about other things. So I've got I'm going to open this one while I wait for news of who was the best and worst bird in Australia. All right. My goodness, there's quite a bit going on in here. What have we got? Oh, we've got some pamphlets. Oh my gosh, is this a comic? It's a comic. I love religious comics so much. Thank you, Toby. I love religious comics so much. This one's called The Prophecies of Daniel and Revelation. It's new. It's not the 2,000 years old world of Christ. It's new. It's new. Peter, the bird thing was more conversation starter than actual judgment. Tearing officers apart. Okay, now I simply have to go and look it up. What am I doing? Going Guardian worst bird. If it brings it up. Yes, here we go. The Guardian, an open thread. What's Australia's best bird and its worst? Wow. Magpies. I think magpies are cool. I like their warbling. Sure, they attack people, but you know, you've got to stay careful in this life. You can't take stuff for granted. I think magpies just keep people on their toes. What else have they raged? Sulphur-crested cockatoos. I'm a big fan of sulphur-crested cockatoos. I grew up with one, had one as a pet. Bush turkeys, okay. Bush turkeys are pretty crap. Galahs are kind of crap, but have a charm. I mean, okay, I reckon the worst is going to end up being bin chickens. Honestly, that has to be the worst, right? The worst bird has to be bin chickens. Hey, Frankie and Patman Sport. Tendai, what do I think is best? What do I like? I do have quite a fondness for the magpie, you know, dirt common, but just in terms of visual appeal, we have some truly awesome parrots and cockatoos. I reckon, okay, the worst parrot is the fucking rainbow lorikeet, okay? Now, it's very pretty. A rainbow lorikeet is well named. It's got all these colors. It's a very pretty bird, but they're assholes. They're noisy and obnoxious, and aggressive, and they pick on other birds. And I think there's a metaphor in that people, really, the prettiest people are awful and shitty to other people and loud and attention-seeking. So my least favorite parrot is definitely the friggin' rainbow lorikeet. Who's coming? I have to say hello to Joe and Lisa. Hello to the both of you. Still struggling for best. I mean, we have so many good birds. It's very hard to pick best. I mean, you know, we've got everything from, you know, the warbling homicidal magpie. I like lyrebirds because they make all these crazy noises. If people are around them enough and they hear sounds repeatedly, they'll start echoing, doing a version of mobile phone ringtones, car alarms, camera shutter noises. They're amazing. And like I said, I like lots of the parrots. I mean, honestly, how about the cassowary, the prehistoric murder chicken? I mean, the cassowary is fucking awesome. It's crazy and homicidal, but how could you not love the fact that we have a wild animal that's basically a prehistoric murder chicken, has a big bone on its head that it can attack you with, big strong legs that it can attack you with. It's absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, Joe, magpies know you. Magpies definitely know people. They're very intelligent, and they'll be friendly. If you feed them, they'll be friendly. I was at a friend's place, and they must have fed magpies a lot, because when they fired up their barbecue, I'm not kidding, dozens of magpies started landing on the roof and on their garage, hoping to get a bit of meat. So they maybe took it a bit far, being friendly to the magpies. But yeah, I think so. What is in this package from Toby? Besides my new pride and joy, the religious comic, another Bible. I have so many Bibles now. Thank you, Toby. And this is the whole Bible from the Bible Society. Oh look, okay, they've got greatest hits. Let's check the greatest hits. I think we should do that. They're saying, okay, popular verses, Isaiah 53:6. Okay, let's do it. Where's Isaiah? Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Samuel. It would help if they were alphabetical. Kings, Kings, Second Book of Kings, Chronicles, Second Chronicles, Nehemiah. Must be in Psalms now, are we? Esther. Must be Psalms. Is that shit? Yeah, Psalm. Oh, Psalm 69. That's the name of a thing. Nice. Save me, O God, for the flood waters are up to my neck. Deeper and deeper, I sink in the mire. I can't find a foothold. I'm in deep water, and the floods overwhelm me. I'm exhausted from crying for help. My throat is parched. My eyes are swollen with weeping, waiting for God to help me. That sounds like a Nick Cave song. That's quite incredible. That sounds like a Nick Cave song. Book of Psalms, Book of Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, Isaiah. That was what we were looking for, wasn't it? Isaiah 53:6. Chapter 53, verse 6. This is the first big hit of the Bible according to these people. 53 verse 6 is, all of us like sheep have strayed away. We have left God's path to follow our own. Yet the Lord laid on him the sins of us all. That sounds like a conspiracy theory thing, really. We're all sheep. Right, okay. Pat posted a photo. A South Park wrestler. I like it. I like it, Pat. Okay, well, that was the first big hit. That was a bit of a... Okay, now we want to go to John 3:16. We're done with the Old Testament. Zechariah, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay, what verse? 3:16. It's almost pi, isn't it? Chapter 3, verse 16. For this is how God loved the world. He gave his one and only Son so that everyone who believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. Ah, that's nice. No, Safa, I was not talking about the Magpies football team. It would be very unlikely for me to talk about football teams. Okay, Acts, the Acts of the Apostles, 2:36. Okay, what's the groove thing here? Chapter 2, Holy Spirit comes, verse 36. So let everyone in Israel know for certain that God has made this Jesus whom you crucified to be both Lord and Messiah. This is really quite boring, honestly, aren't they? And Revelation 21:1. Okay, Revelation. Now we're getting serious. Revelations is where all the good stuff is. Let's find Revelations. They think chapter 21 of Revelations. Let's find it. This is where all the heavy shit happens. The New Jerusalem, 1 and 3 to 4. Okay. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The old heaven and old earth had disappeared, and the sea was also gone. And I saw the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven like a bride, beautiful, dressed for her husband. They want us to fuck Jerusalem? Is that what they want? Huh? I heard a loud shout from the throne saying, look, God's home is now among his people. He will live with them. They will be his people. God himself will be with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There'll be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. All these things are gone forever. Well, that's a happy ending, isn't it? Peter, Dan Bull, I do know who he is. Made boy in a band, made a rap together from Bible verses, turned it into a horrorcore song. That sounds good. Toby, you're asking how many Bibles I have. You should know, man. You send them all to me. I have several. Pat-Man, no, I'm football is not my thing. This is the weird thing. I'm not into football at all, which is almost like sacrilege in Melbourne to not be into football. But if someone visits from out of town, particularly from overseas, there's a good chance if it's during football season, I'll take them to a football game because it is quite entertaining. What's this? The Ministry of Healing, the Book of Health and Happiness, sunlight, rest, air, water, diet. Wow, this religious ways to get healthy. Ooh, wait, they've got my number here. The man who has formed a habit of using intoxicants is in a desperate situation. Not wrong there. Pat-Man Sport, no, I'm just not into sport. I don't get into sport. I don't have a real loathing for sport or anything like that. Sometimes I watch sport, I'm just not into it. I love this one. Is there a creator who cares about you? No. Really no. Absolutely no. You're fooling yourself. Get back to reality. No. No, really no. How many times do we have to tell you no? Grow a brain? No. No. Okay. That's the answer to that. Ooh. Look, it's my autobiography. The greatest man who ever lived. The greatest. Oh my God. Did you know Jesus had fights with sharks? I didn't, but now I do. That's pretty impressive. I wonder if he fights with robots as well. I swear, if they had, if they had Jesus fighting robots, like Pacific Rim style, if Jesus was running a huge fucking robot and he was fighting giant monsters, I would become a Christian, quite honestly. Christ's object lessons. Bet he doesn't. No, that's all words. God, that's too many words. I'm not reading that. I want more of the pictures of him fighting sharks. Rick Mayall was the greatest man who ever lived. That's it, Tendai, that's it. Today, Jeebus cancels the apocalypse. That would upset the evangelicals because they want the apocalypse. Oh, nice wordplay, Joe Will. Jesus did fight with sharks like the hammerhead because he was a carpenter after all. Ooh, what was that? I think I saw something. No, I thought it was about race. It was the injustices we face. That's a good multi-ethnic Jesus party, isn't it? Oh, okay. Frankie has to do it AIDSy style, overshare. How did you describe it? Dropping a bomb in the bowl. Okay. Okay. This is an unusual representation of the crucifixion. And am I the only one who thinks right there he's saying, bitch, I'm fabulous. Well, he can't do snaps because he's tired. But that stretching up with the arms above the head, that's a little bit of, bitch, I'm fabulous. Or is that just me? It's probably just me, isn't it? It's just me. Okay. Okay. Jesus wakes up with a hangover. Oh, God, it's too bright. Oh, man, why did I turn all that water into wine last night? And then I turned the wine into tequila. I like these illustrations. Again, this is like super ethnic again, ethnic mixation. Hello, my lovely dame. Okay. This dude is just trying really hard to resist whacking it to midget porn. That's what's going on here. He looks troubled. He looks very troubled. Oh, man. That looks like a good night out right there. I'm sure it's telling us it's bad, but that basically looks like a good night out. Oh, yes, Peter, I saw the Australian Federal Police raided a union office today in service of their political masters in the Liberal Party. It's really, really disgusting, in fact. I don't know if there's any more good pictures of pole dancing Jesus. No, not as good. Pole dancing Jesus is my... Well, I'm torn. I think I want to cut these pictures out. There's... Got to decide who my new favourite Jesus is. Is it pole dancing Jesus, or which book was the other one in? This one, I think. I want to find shark fighting Jesus again, because that was a real turn up for the books. I mean, deep down, I always knew. There he is, shark fighting Jesus. It's really hard to pick my favourite Jesus. Pole dancing Jesus or shark fighting Jesus. They're both pretty good. So oh yeah, you want other fuckery from our government? They're trying to introduce laws that make it illegal, like a jailable offence for impersonating a government office, which, you know, if somebody was committing fraud and saying, you know, they work for the tax department, give me money, of course they deserve to be punished. But there was a video released this week, I think by BuzzFeed, you know, pretending to be a government department and taking the piss. And they actually got a letter from a government department saying, oh, you shouldn't have used the coat of arms, made it look like it was really the government. It's like, no, it really didn't look like it was really the government because the things we're saying, Joe. And there was a bit built into this proposed law. It's like, oh, the impersonating the government officer, there'd be an excuse for it, satire. And it's just like, really, we're going to let the government decide what we can and can't do if we make fun of them saying, I'm making fun of I'm from the government, everyone in the government's stupid, and we rely on them to not exploit their power. I mean, anyone who thinks the government wouldn't exploit that just to go after people they didn't like is absolutely fooling themselves. Celtic King, this very second, talking about scary things the government's doing, from raiding union officers to wanting to pass laws to say you're not allowed to pretend you're from the government, and they apparently get to decide when what you're doing is satire and when it isn't. Yeah, Biore, I could see using that in a sketch. I'm from the government. I'm the reason nothing works. But yes, anyone who doesn't think the government passing laws about, oh, if you say from the government, we're going to prosecute you, unless it's legitimate satire, and leaving that judgment in the hands of the government is just a friggin' nightmare. It's a horrible, horrible situation. Look, I want to check out my Christian comic. Oh, look, a special publication from Amazing Facts, which means it's all true. More oversharing from Frank. The bomb fell quicker than usual, but made more of a mess. I suppose that's a trade-off. Okay, remember me saying I was hoping there'd be Jesus in a giant Jaeger fighting monsters. Look, I think we're going to get it. I think that's Jesus's Pacific Rim Jaeger. Kathy, you're right. Impersonating a government official in a fraudulent way is illegal, but it's very creepy the way they're trying to bring in this law and the way they've behaved in the past. It feels creepily like they would abuse this law to try and shut down people who were taking the piss out of them. Yeah. Oh, Celtic King, VD's still being bashed in his new prison. Yeah, well, he's nothing. Oh, there's a prologue. Right, prophecies. The stone smashed a great statue and it spread over our entire planet. Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Okay, cool. Little horn. Oh, I love this. I think this is one of the people who say the Roman Catholic Church are evil, which is kind of funny. The little horn soon grew more stout, more powerful than any of the other horns around it, and it was quite different and diverse from its neighbors. In Europe, there arose only one power that fits this description. After Persia, after Greece, after the pagan Roman Empire, there came the ruling power that was different to the others. The Roman Catholic Church. Dun, 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 dun. The Roman Catholic Church. Obviously, the devil. VD should be committed and put into PC. What's PC, Joe? Oh, Celtic King. Okay, yes, I appreciate those are the big bits of news with VD if he's released or killed. Still depressing to think about. For all the dickhead he is, I don't actually wish bad things on him. I feel kind of sad. I like, look, just incidentally, in our prophecy comic, that's our narrator. I quite like him. And like, it's a comic, so they could have represented him as anything at all, but they represented him as an old dude with a mustache, old bald dude with a mustache. It's raining again. Can you hear that? Oh, protective custody. That's what you meant, Joe. So, okay, wow, okay. Apparently, the last days began in 1844. Did you know that? The last days, we started counting in 1844. Okay. Okay, so we're counting down, apparently. Oh, well. Oh, wow. Now they're saying Sunday worship is a bad thing. And that's America's fault. They're saying Saturday is really the Sabbath, but they're saying America made it Sunday. And the America is Satan now. Cool. Sunday. It's amazing. Little things like moving your church services to Sunday prove that you're Satan. Oh, Joe, I have a friend's box set of Penn and Teller's bullshit. And I haven't watched all of it. I've watched a few episodes. I like Penn and Teller, but it is very important to remember that when you watch Penn and Teller, they're very good communicators. They tell a very good story, but they're incredibly biased. Now, I happen to agree with the vast majority of their biases. I share most of their biases, not all, but most. And but I think it's really important to remember that the majority of what Penn and Teller say isn't objective fact. It's really strongly held opinion backed up with observations, but a lot of those observations are incredibly biased. So yeah, it's good to keep that in mind. It's a good question, Catherine. Why did the end days start in 1844? I'll see if I can read a bit, and see if I can find why. I've lost 1844. Here it is. Okay. Okay, apparently there's 2300-day prophecy of Daniel. One of the greatest prophetic movements came together out of a great religious awakening in the 1800s. After prayerful Bible study, it was decided using day for a year principle that Daniel's 2300-day prophecy meant in the year 1844, Christ would return to our world and cleanse the earth. Well, Christ did not come in 1844. It was a tremendous disappointment. That's an understatement. Then they came up with a backup plan. The sanctuary referred to the heavenly sanctuary. After studying the duties that were transformed by the Old Testament Jewish temple priests, it became clear that Christ would have similar duties to perform in the heavenly sanctuary before final atonement could be completed. The 2300 days began at the same point that the 70 weeks began, 457 BC. Then when the 2300-day prophecy was given to Daniel, Daniel ends the chapter saying he didn't understand. In Daniel 9, the angel Gabriel comes back to explain only part of the vision. Very important. The 70-week prophecy gives a starting point. Well, this is really complicated. See, Christ's holy work in the most holy place, the heavenly secretary, began in 1844. When that work's completed, it'll be time for the second coming. Man, they're fucking reaching there. They are really reaching. Bioria, I don't actually remember their stance on gun control. I remember their stuff about smoking was some serious bullshit. Hi, Sebastian. Yeah, and Peter, their obsessive libertarian stuff, really great. Because, I mean, I admit, I am an old school lefty, not an authoritarian as such, but I believe, you know, society as a whole needs to look after each other, and you kind of need rules for that. But so, yes, I am definitely not a libertarian, although I have a lot of sympathy for true libertarians. I'm not a libertarian myself, and I'm not a socialist either, but I share some with both. Sebastian, the Greens shit me. Because they behave like someone who never has to take responsibility for the things they say. They're like never going to be in power, so they can say whatever they want, and because they'll never enact any policies because they'll never be in government. From what you remember, Penn was anti-gun control. I can imagine being pure libertarians, they would have gone, oh, no, government control. But I mean, Jesus Christ, you've just got to look at America and see that there's something deeply wrong at the core of American society. And this slavish obsession with you can't restrict guns at all, fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely indefensible and stupid. Oh, okay. Sebastian, you don't mean the Green Party. Little compass bottom left is green. Yeah, I mean, like anyone, you know, political views are subjective, and you know, I'm joking and calling myself a loony lefty and whatnot, but people on the conservative end of things, particularly authoritarian and Christian conservatives, would basically think I'm the devil when it came down to it. They'd think I was so far left and awful, they really wouldn't like me at all. But, you know, a hardcore, you know, socialists or communists would realize that I'm not on their side. They might, you know, think I sort of anarchist ideals, and full-on anarchists would realize that I'm more of a statist than they are. But you know, the truth is, right while I do, Bernie should be US president. In all honesty, I would have Sanders as the Democratic candidate to Clinton, not because of any of the ridiculous, stupid, shit for brains lies people said about Clinton, just because I thought Clinton was boring. Clinton was an establishment hack, a careerist, Democratic hack, and you know, it's just going to be boring and more of the same. And particularly when Trump ended up getting the Republican nomination, I really would have been interested to see a left-wing populist versus a right-wing populist. Whereas that's not what we got. We got an establishment politician versus a right-wing populist. So it was boring in the end. And also policy-wise, I thought it would have been really interesting to see Sanders try and implement some of his more radical policies and see what happened. I think at the very least, it would not have been boring. Oh, Joe, anyone who ever believed anything Trump said, particularly the war thing, is fucking ridiculous. The idea that Clinton would push for war is ridiculous. I mean, she would definitely have continued the drone strike policy in the Middle East. But she's a careerist politician. It would have been the same. It would have been more of the same. See, the reason back in the day, I preferred Obama over Clinton too, for the same reason. I thought Obama stood the chance of being something different, whereas Clinton was definitely going to be more of the same. As it turned out, I think Obama was more of the same. I think he was just an establishment politician. I think a Clinton presidency and an Obama presidency would not have been all that different. When Obama was running, I was very hopeful he would be a very different president to Clinton. But honestly, after the fact, I don't think there'd be that much difference between them. I think they're both careerist establishment politicians. Yeah, you know, slightly left of centre, not by my standards, not even by Australian mainstream politics standards. But you know, with some progressive policies, but I don't think there'd be much difference. Yeah, Frankie, you're right that moderate Republicans spoke out against Trump. Although I have to admit, okay, people say, can you say something good about Trump? I will give him credit for crushing the establishment of the Republican Party. Like, they threw everything at him and nothing worked. And he absolutely crushed them and humiliated them. And you got to give him credit for that. And he very narrowly squeaked in the election ahead of Clinton due to some massive shiftiness. And the more time goes by and the more we see about some of the key results, it's shiftier and shiftier. But he did squeak in against Clinton. But yeah, if someone wants me to say something positive about Trump, well, he certainly did a job of absolutely crushing and humiliating the mainstream Republicans. And what I found particularly amazing, the reason I thought it is, Frankie talked about people like Mitt Romney speaking out against Trump, which he did, which I thought was good. But then when Trump actually won, Romney, like everyone else, went crawling back to him. There was that great photo of Romney having a dinner with Trump, and the whole thing was to try and get a job in the Trump administration, which he didn't get, which was the ultimate humiliation for Romney. I did like, as a Game of Thrones meme, someone captioned that photo of Trump with Romney, and it has Trump saying, "Tell them your name," and Romney says, "My name is Rick." It should take too long to explain, but if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you get the reference. Basically, Trump completely broke Romney and had him as virtually a slave. So yeah, I don't think that's an altogether good thing, but yes, if you want me to say something positive about Trump, I will say he definitely completely fucked over the Republican establishment. Like, they didn't stand a chance against him. He absolutely humiliated them. Like, how many of them were there? There were like 8 of them, and he just fucking swept them aside. It was like, what the fuck? How are they just failing against him? Oh yeah, Frankie, you're right. Chris Christie's another one who's totally Trump's bitch. Like Trump humiliates Chris Christie all the time, and Christie keeps sucking up to him. Jeb Bush was probably Trump's biggest victory because Jeb Bush was the establishment candidate. He was the one that everyone's sort of thought was a more or less foregone conclusion would win the nomination, and he didn't. So, yeah, there's no small accomplishment, really. But, yeah. So you gotta love that. I mean, so yeah, that was pretty amazing accomplishment. But the weirdest thing is Trump, since the election and the lead up, he's looked like the dog that caught the car it was chasing. Like he doesn't know what to do. It's like, hey, yeah, I got the thing. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. What do I do? I've got the thing. What do I do now? And like, seriously, the pictures of Trump at his inauguration. Have you ever seen someone who won something so big, basically the biggest prize in the world, and yet still looks so sad? So sad. It's everything about the Trump candidacy and now presidency has been fucking surreal and so difficult to understand. So surreal. It's just, it is just really difficult to understand what the fuck is going on. And, you know, you have media outlets, I think it was New York Times, talking about the latest person to be made to look like shit in the Trump administration. And they're going like, oh, the poison that taints everyone who's around Trump. Like, you know, Trump corrupts everyone. It's like, well, you know, honestly, if you go work for Trump, you're fucking shit to start with. But it's just bizarre. It's so hard to understand. And it just keeps going on. Just keeps going on. Oh, Peter, there's a positive thing about Trump. He takes terrible care of himself safely when I have to endure it. See, but that's the thing. Trump has this absolutely rabid, completely unhinged fan base. These people just aren't in touch with reality. If anything happens to Trump to cut his presidency short, these people will go insane. Like if he gets impeached, they will rightly say, oh, he was our guy, we voted for him, and the establishment got rid of him. And God knows what they'll do. It's really disturbing to me what he might do. Now, Trump is old and horrifically unfit, right? And he's in a very stressful job. He could really easily drop dead at any moment. It's, you know, it's probably more likely than not. He's probably more likely to drop dead than he is to see out his presidency. But again, everything about Trump is conspiracies. If he died, his completely unhinged fan base would go straight to conspiracy mode and say he'd been murdered. And again, it's just absolutely horrific to me to imagine what they might do, what scale of rioting might be reached by them. I don't know, maybe nothing. But I honestly don't think it would be good. So, and I don't think they are capable of processing any negative outcome for Trump. Like if the Russia investigation finds criminal activity from him or his supporters, they'll scream conspiracy. If he gets impeached, they'll scream conspiracy. If he dies, they'll scream conspiracy. I don't think it'd be crazy. Hello, Petit Wallaby. You may have caught me, but I have to admit I'm not going to be around for much longer. Celtic King, I should feel myself doing angry exercise. The one downfall is I don't exercise ever, like ever. I'm losing weight. Like in the last couple of months, I've lost about 10 kilos, and I'm working on losing quite a lot more. My goal would be to lose at least another 15 kilos, and preferably like another 25. Oh, you're about to finish your shift. Well, I'm really glad you dropped by. For those who don't know, Petite Wallaby is a friend of mine. She's from Canada. She's visited here. She's married to an Aussie friend of mine now, and she is a very good cartoonist. She has done a couple of cartoons of me as an anthropomorphized Tasmanian devil, which I really like. Pat Manswell, angry at work videos, they would just be boring. Like me at work would be boring. Catherine, you're spot on. Obama aged heaps in 8 years, and he's like 30 years younger than Trump. And it's just like, Celtic King, I will be starting the other channel. I have already recorded a bunch of videos, and I will be starting the Angry Gets His Shit Together channel. Might be called Dr. Angry, might be called Angry Sorts It Out, something like that. Frankie, you think my meanness would kill Trump if you watched the video? I mean, he seems to take shit really personally, like to a really pathetic degree. It's like, my God. Nice, Joe. That's my type of exercise. Riding a bike to get a pizza. That is great exercise. I love that. Oh, yeah. Tendai, I did see that. The World Health Organization, for some deranged reason, appointed Robert Mugabe, the fucking dictator, as a goodwill ambassador. And then they got surprised at the backlash and dropped him 24 hours later. It's like, fucking hell. Mugabe is a very good example of absolute power corrupts absolutely, because he like took over Zimbabwe. It was Rhodesia, which was, you know, as bad as South Africa, a very authoritarian regime, and they needed to be overthrown. And he was a hero of the revolution. He deserved to be the leader after the revolution. And then he just sunk straight into dictatorship with a despot and basically fucking destroyed Zimbabwe. It's absolutely ridiculous, but a great textbook example of what happens. Toby, you want to download all my videos? I keep all my videos, Toby. I know some people don't. I have a whole bunch of hard drives. I have not just the edited videos, but all the raw video as well. I've just kept all of it. I've got a whole bunch of portable hard drives that have all the videos I've ever made and stuff. So there's stuff that people have never seen on those, the hidden angry files. Look, Catherine, you're right. Trump is a snuffer. And this is one of the weirdest things, like the nasty right-wingers, the assholes, not the people who hold conservative views, but the people who are assholes and just want to be dicks to everyone. And they call him, oh, you're a snowflake, you're so politically correct. But you say the slightest thing they don't like and they fall to pieces. Oh, you don't respect the flag enough for them, and they fall to pieces. They're the biggest fucking snowflakes of all. Catherine, you've done a 2-hour dance rehearsal and now you've got KFC. Well, that balances out. Toby, how much memory do the videos take off? I haven't added it up recently, but there's probably 5 or 6 terabytes of video on the various drives, because they're all they're 1 or 2 terabyte drives. One of them might be a 3 terabyte drive, and yeah, so in total it's, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 terabytes of video. I mean, you know, probably there's a big chunk of porn on there too that I saved. So why? You know, at one point in history, it's like, oh, I'm going to download that porn and save it. Why? Why? There's like a never-ending stream of free porn on the internet. You don't have to save it. You just look at something different next time. Oh, Nicholas, the update we had on VD is he's still getting beaten up in jail, and Celtic King will give us an update if he gets released or killed. So before fast internet, I did have high-speed internet when I first started on YouTube, and that's kind of why I started it as well. It's like, well, you know, I've got high-speed internet for the first time, you know, 12 years ago, and I started putting videos on YouTube. But it wasn't that fast, and the technology wasn't that great, so the videos were really compressed. Like, they're really low res. I mean, if I go and like look at my videos, oh, what am I doing? I'm already there. Go to my video manager and try and find a really old video and look at the resolution. Probably, like, you know, you look at videos now on 1080p is standard. Back in the day, like if I look at my very first video where I'm sitting on the toilet, and it's yeah, no, it's 240p. So you know, it's the limits back in the early days were really quite extreme. So even though it was technically, you know, fast internet, it wasn't that fast. Do I have any idea how many hours of footage I've done? And if you count live streams, it's a lot. I mean, so even just on my main channel, I mean, how many videos do I have on my main channel? I've got almost 2,400 videos on my main channel. If you count all the other stuff I've uploaded, the Let's AngryAussie channel and a few other channels, you know, Christ, it's probably close to 3,000 videos. If you said they were on average 5 minutes long, and I don't know, the average could be higher or lower for all I know. But let's for argument's sake say I have 3,000 videos at an average of 5 minutes. That'd be 15,000 minutes. So if we divide that by 60, that's 250 hours of video. And, you know, divide that by 24 to get days. And so it's like 10 days. If you watch non-stop, you might or might not get through all my videos in 10 days. It might be more, it might be less. That is a very rough, imprecise measure of how much I've uploaded video-wise. Well, Sebastian, that's an interesting point. I am about to get the NBN connected tomorrow, if all goes well. And I have cable that runs right into my lounge room. So I'll hopefully get their best speeds. And I also have to get my new computer working so I can edit 4K video, because my new camera shoots 4K, but I'm on a laptop here and now, and it's actually not powerful enough to edit 4K video. It can't play 4K video. It can't process it fast enough to play it. So I can't edit 4K video on this. But if I get my new computer working and my new high-speed internet working, I might be able to shoot and edit 4K video. Who knows? Who knows? Peter, that's a good point. Some people died for freedom and some people died from autoerotic asphyxiation. It means we should worship the noose, I guess. Can you invest in a 4K webcam? Safa, that's an interesting question. I don't know if such a thing exists. Maybe it does. I've got a Sony Handycam. No, honey, I'm not going to get a MacBook because I'm not going to fucking learn how to use one. I have a new PC tower that got put together and isn't working, so I have to take it apart again and work out what's not right and get it going. And I've been really slack doing that, but I must do that soon. Because then I can try and see 4K video, and I can really give my new camera a workout because it has lots of neat features. Oh, Joe, nice turn of phrase. You can talk about autoerotic asphyxiation until you're blue in the face. Won't change anything. Oh my God, that reminded me of this really awful novelty song from the 70s, I think, called My Boomerang Won't Come Back. I don't even think it was done by an Australian, but it is purportedly told the story of an Aboriginal kid, son of the tribal elder, who couldn't make his boomerang come back, and the line in the chorus is, "My boomerang won't come back. I waved the thing all over the place, practiced till I was black in the face. I'm a big disgrace to the Aborigine race. My boomerang won't come back." That was humor in the 70s. You can tell how much I listened to that song because I still remember the chorus. So that's something, isn't it? But look, with that extremely tasteful and not at all racist note, I'm going to leave you for the evening. And oh, Joe, you know it. Don't worry, boy, I know the trick, and to you I'm gonna show it. If you want your boomerang to come back, well, first you have to throw it. Yes, so bizarre. Anyway, 80 was very well on Sunday, Toby, and that was the last I saw him, which was only 2 days ago, but he was doing very well through all these trials and stuff. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. I had a good time, as usual. You're all wonderful. Give me a thumbs up on the way out. It'll be great. Maybe fool the algorithm into thinking that I'm popular. It all helps, I think, I guess. I don't know. So thank you all for your time. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll see you later. Bye now. I'm counting